Hey everybody, what is going on? How are y'all doing? I'm doing pretty well. Got here some catappa leaves, tappa, and also went down to Aquarium Co-op, which is only like I don't know 2 miles, 5 miles from my house, and got one of these. So one of the new sponge filter flow director things. So I'm gonna try that out and I'll let you know what I think. But how's everybody doing tonight? Who's in here? Let's see here. We've got Nirvana Aquatics. What's going on? Andre Pugliese. Pugliese. Hello. Shaq. What's up? Shaq. I know that's Shaft. It's okay. Hold on. Let's minimize. Not gonna update StreamYard right now. Fish Hippie 39. What's going on? Let's see here. Wayne Shaw. Hello from New Zealand. Hello. Check the fish box. What's going on? Henry Figueroa. Hello. Salut. Hi, Duke. Andrew, hello. I ramble. How dare you? Yes, you can definitely watch it in 1.5 speed and probably get through it a lot quicker. Rachel Beard, what's going on? And Sketty Nona, Linda Worth, Chris Howell, Craig's Catfish Cave, what's up? 2% 23, what's up? Who else am I missing that's wandered in here? We've got Ian, Aquarium Magic. What's going on? Big Tank Hank, what's up, brother? Mimic Nature, hello. Randy, hello. Reduce Capacity 1, hello. Sideshow Cody, hello. Angie Bear, Logan. Got lots of folks in here tonight. So, what's going on, everybody? How are you feeling? Is everybody feeling pumped about their aquariums this winter, or are we feeling a little bit like burnout? I feel like I was on the edge of burnt out about just feeling like, oh man, I have to redo all these aquariums and I need to keep up with all this maintenance. And now that I've actually gotten a couple of the aquariums fixed up, it feels a lot less overwhelming. It feels kind of exciting to be ready to set some new ones up. You know, I've never had any of them before, but I want to get a new 65-gallon tank. So I found a tank at a local fish store that is a 65 in the footprint of a 55 and then just a little taller. And yeah, I'm hoping to set that up, and maybe I won't even do plants in it at all. I mean, I want to try plants in it, but I'm gonna try to put earth eaters in it. I've never kept earth eaters before, but man, I'm looking into it and thinking that's what I want to do. Now, ideally, it's only a 65, so that's not the most room for earth eaters. So we'll see how it goes. Um, yeah, Johnny, what's going on? Good to see you, buddy. Johnny, have I kept Dario Hisgion? I always call it Higginsoni for some reason, but yeah, I have kept that one. I like that one a lot. I've also kept. They've traded names before because one used to be called Myanmar, like black and red Myanmar. Then they were calling it Higginson, whatever, the Higginsoni one, and the Baddest Ruber is the one that's just obviously Ruber means red, so that one is a little bit bigger in size, and I found actually that the Scarlet Baddest is probably the meanest of the ones that I've kept. Now, I hybridized the Myanmar, the black and red, with a scarlet a scarlet female, and then a male was the other one. And when they crossed, they were, I mean, it produced a really beautiful fish, a little bit larger version of kind of a scarlet batis with black kind of dots on its face. And that one, if you recall, if you guys were watching during that time, we looked at it and we were watching it, and I wanted to try to see if it was fertile or if it was just kind of a fluke that they had crossed in the same tank. But when I hybridized them, that thing grew to a very large size. So it grew bigger than either species, which is interesting because I just did a plant video where I talked about hybrid vigor. But hybrid vigor is when you cross two different species, usually in the same genus or genera, and they end up creating a giant version of the two crossed. And they're usually sterile, but not always. It's like when you take a llama and a camel, for instance. That's one that is just mind blowing because they've been separated by, like, the land bridges and everything, the continents drifting apart. South America versus the Middle East and Central Asia, it's just insane that those were viable, that you can mix a camel and a llama and get a cama or a llamal. But you can, and so sometimes fish even that aren't even closely related can create a freak. Tony Cheek, what's going on? Gamer1, what's going on? Jeff Kane, hello there. And I didn't get a chance during the Father Fish stream, the last live stream that I was on. I didn't get a chance to thank people for, the super chats. In fact, I didn't even get to see the super chats. I was actually using YouTube's new function, which is called co-streaming. And I thought it was going to allow Father Fish to stream live on his channel. And then, like, we'd sign in together on YouTube, no third-party app, because it's a new feature. And then his followers could go on his channel, mine on mine. I know a lot of people overlap, but you could watch it on both channels live was the hope. But yeah, it didn't do that. And so then he was messing with technology, and it was kind of glitchy and stuff. So it was a bit of a rough start. And then after that, the stream went pretty smooth. But I was hoping, when is Dan's Fish going to offer discounts to first responders, military, and veterans? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. If he's doing that, that's cool. But you can get a discount with my channel just by entering the word Alex. If you're I don't know where they stand right now, how many times you can use the code. Johnny may know, but it's changed. At first it was 5%, and then it went to 10%, and then it was 10% for the first time. So I'm not actually, I need to like double check all that. But I mean, when you're buying through Dan's Fish, use the code Alex, easy to remember, and you'll get the best discount that he offers openly to anybody. So there's that. But I don't know about the military stuff, honestly. Code is unlimited. It's 10% for first purchase, then 5% for following. Okay, great. Yeah. All right. That totally makes sense. Yeah. So just use the word Alex and support my channel, and also gets you a discount. Let's see here. Thank you, Johnny, by the way. Angie Bear, hello. So I want to make shorts with Father Fish's interview edited down into its main form. Oh, by the way, Bentley, if you want to be super crafty sneaky, you could just register a new email if that 5% really does it for you. And welcome, buddy. Um, and by the way, I don't know if he's streaming. I assume he is later, but definitely Bentley Pasco. You can check out his channel after me. He and I are fairly like-minded nerds in that we like the science, we like planted tanks, we like nano to small and medium fish, and then he likes rainbows and some other bigger fish than me too. But it's not that I don't like big fish. I love big fish. I just don't have room for them. And I'd rather have a bunch of little fish than, like 5 big fish or something, or one. Yeah, your wife's first purchase could definitely qualify. Good work, Sketty. Are Pseudomcgill Fucatas blue eyes popular in the US? They're fairly popular, yeah. The forktail Fucata. And I think they're a beautiful fish. I think they're a little underrated. They're kind of the cheapest of the pseudomcgills. Yeah, I think that's a true statement for most of the U.S. anyways. Yeah. Bentley ranting about sports ball. Same, he's that Bentley. Uh, he's gonna have his wife joining him tonight, he says. All right, cool. On his live stream. We'll get to see this mysterious other. So what kind of news do I have? Well, most places are probably winding down on shipping for the month of December. Probably if you order something anytime, it's either this week or next week, but you're gonna not receive your fish. You're gonna have to wait until January. But I'm sure they all have it posted on their page. Aquatic Arts is that way. Redfish, Bluefish, Live Aquaria. There's all sorts of places like that. Father Chris, what's going on? Jesse Lee, good to see you. So yeah, no, not winding down in sales, winding down in the shipping. A lot of people. Okay, the 18th is when Dan's Fish stops shipping. That's the latest date actually that I know of in the hobby of the places that shut down. I think even Wet Spot had a date that they slowed down too. Um, but yeah, some of the fish that are there right now at Dan's Fish are insane. Now, I don't want to always just stream, Dan's Fish and be all fanboy-y, but actually, we can talk about what's going on in the hobby a little bit, and you guys know what I look like, so we'll switch over to looking at his fish because they're beautiful. Nomadistar, hello, welcome. Um, yeah, your stock is bonkers at this point. So also, by the way, I managed to bust it out 2 more teeth. I mean, they're crowns, but they busted off. So now I look really insane. So I don't even want to make videos. Like I just want, like, if I'm in a video and be like, "Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Alex Williamson." It's bad. I need to get it fixed ASAP. Actually, I need to get them pulled, the bottom part of the crowns, and then get the teeth installed. But when I got hit by the lightning and it threw my head back, I clenched my teeth, and that, as well as the heat from it, literally was like putting a hot plate in water. So when they x-rayed my teeth, some of them were still in my mouth and looked whole, but they had spider web fractures all throughout them. And now I'm definitely paying for not getting them all out then. But it's been super, super expensive, obviously. So it's been taking me time. And people are like, "Why don't you get your teeth fixed? You look like a crazy person." That's a flattering thing that they would say. It's not crazy person. That is the reference I usually get. But yeah, I'm sure I look like the guy on the Gorillas, the cartoon character with the crazy teeth. Um, But in any case, yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out right now if we're gonna take out the rest of the top teeth at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. But that's hopefully when it'll happen. And then for 6 months, I will have again no teeth, which was the case for 8 months recently. And then I'll be able to eat again when they put the implants in, which I actually won't be able to chew on, but at least I'll have like something there, so it'll look okay. Yeah, and that's 15 grand. So the bottom was 15 grand and the top 15 grand. Yeah. So that's why I'm taking my time on it, or why it's taking time. And also, last time that I went to Florida, I went to get these pulled and these secured fully the end, and it ended up that I ended up in the intensive care unit from the heat stroke incident. And so then now I've got almost 8 grand altogether. So insurance, let me just do a rant real quick. So insurance now has insurance and then co-insurance. So you hit your deductible, you pay your monthly premium, then you pay your co-pays and things for medications and for specialists, like $60 for a specialist. My inhaler, albuterol, if I need it, is $60. My EpiPen is $120. My the medication I take for lupus isn't even covered at all. And then like my other meds come out to like, I don't know, $250 or $280 a month. And that's with insurance. So you got that cost. Then I went to the hospital, and you hit your deductible for going to the ER, the first part of the visit. Then it's your hospital stay. And it's so shady. They shouldn't be allowed to do this, but they snuck in a law around, I think it was 2007 that this became law, that they could do it, but that they can bill you so you've got your deductible. You may say, okay, so I only have to pay $5,000 out of pocket. So if you get hit by a bus, end up in the ER, and they have to do all sorts of surgeries, it's $5,000, for instance, that you would top out paying, and then they cover everything else, but they don't pay until you've paid that much. Well, now there's an insurance for out of the hospital, and there's a cap for that. That's 3,000, I believe. Then the one for in the hospital is 5,000, and the one for the ER was 3,500, I believe. So I had to hit the 3,500, pay all that, and then I hit the 5,000 for the hospital stay, and that's called like co-insurance. Instead of just admitting that their deductible is basically, 8,500 or whatever it ends up being. Anyways, get off my podium. I don't even know. Like at that point, it's like, oh, why do you even pay for insurance? But you got yeah, I do live near a college of dentistry, but the thing is that with my lupus, there was one dentist that actually did some work for me. But the thing is that they do low income only now. And because of what my wife makes, I'm not in the poverty level anymore. Woe is me. But I mean, and so that's cool. That's great. Obviously, we share a house and everything, but I don't spend her money ever. So it's not like I really make that money. But they assume it's split 50-50, right? So yeah. But healthcare, yeah, is just terrible. And the fact that your teeth are not part of your healthcare money is so maddening. So yeah. Dentures are the way to go because of lupus. There's no guarantee. Yeah, I know. Thank you, homegrown roots. Yeah, I hear you. Anyways, I'll shut up about that. But I'm sure some people know the pain of that. But it's really setback stuff. It's set back the channel because it's not enough that you're feeling down, your health is down, but then like also financially you get hit. And when you're feeling run down, of course you don't have the energy to make the money that you need to pay this stuff. So it's just, I really wish they'd work on that system, and how like mental health, vision, and dental are all separate from your normal health, like somehow. Uh, yeah, lobbyists, exactly. All right, so I'll shut up about that. Aquatic Moose, what's going on? Chad Gardens in LA, what's up? Yeah, universal health care. I'm all for it. Like, let's all pay with our taxes or one at a time, and let's make it so they can't do everything like for crazy profit. And likewise, so that we're not paying for the uninsured people, but like crazy amounts out of pocket. And that, like, literally, like items like cotton balls, they'll charge you $15 for because of that. To try to cover other costs for people who don't have insurance and whatnot. But it was $119,000 for one night and 2 days, essentially. I came in at 8 in the morning, stayed the night, and stayed through the next day. And I got up and left, went to a hotel across the street on day 3 because I couldn't afford it. That was one night in ICU, one night in the other in the normal ward. And they did two MRI, or no MRIs, two CT scans, and an echocardiogram, and a couple IVs and medication, and some x-rays when I was there. And that was $118,000. I was just blown away. All right, so let's go to the sky was gold, it was rose. I was so pretty. Okay, so let's go full screen on this. Just makes it easier. So Dan's fish, he's got some cool ones in right now. And I'm just debating what I want to do with the new tank. So I've got a 40 breeder that I've got room for. These pineapple swords are cool. I mean, the gold rose line barbs are so cool too. I couldn't afford a school of them, but man, I want one. And they've got the dwarf chain loaches. Those are cool. Elegant Cory. These look really similar to like a Trilineatus or Schwartz, and they look similar to a lot of them. Then they've got these beautiful silver sailfin mollies. Where's the other? Oh, these are incredibly beautiful. I know they're expensive, but they are blue down the side when they're colored up fully, and then yellow, and then they've got these highlights of either bronze or green or metallic red, even depending on the angle. It's incredible to see. They're a fish that Lawrence showed me when I did a tour at his house. Also, look at this. So there's a lot of cool Hillstream loaches, but did you guys know that there's a red tail one? Huh? Yeah, there is. There's a blue tail Borneo one, and there's a red tail. Look at those incredible lines too. Gosh, I want one. Yeah, that's hard not to click on that immediately. Also, Empire gudgeons, really fun. Also, the red lizard whiptail catfish, super fun. I definitely have wanted to try breeding these. There's another Pseudomcgill similar to the furcata that someone just mentioned. Sharp-tail goby, pretty cool. The bushfish, the Tenopoma leopard one. Where is the one that I was looking for, though? Oh, these Liberty mollies are really pretty, too. Look at these. So rare. But look at that. It's like the Statue of Liberty's headdress. Art Deco built into the fish. Just a beautiful fish. Plus they're a live bear. So that's why it's not that bad. Like I feel like they've got aquarium glauser imports now, which only one or two other people in the whole country are doing. And Redfish Bluefish, my buddy in Washington, is one of those folks. And it is crazy expensive to import through them, but their quality is insanity. And their selection is pretty insane. These pygmy swordtails, they may be a lot of money in that they're $60, but they're live bears. So even if you bought like 3 of them, you'd get your money back. Even if you sold them for $40 a pop or whatever, you get your money back quickly. Also, they have these Bulgarian lilac angelfish, which are some of the first purple hued or like lavender color hue, depending on the light. It's a little hard to see here, but I saw some of these recently, and they are just incredible. Really, really incredible to see from somebody imported some from the Czech Republic. Also, they've got quite a few different killifish. These are a really affordable one. It's for a pair, and the Aphocinium striatum, just really cool. They've also got the longfin tetras, which they are so beautiful. If that is your main fish in like an aquascape, man, it can look elegant. Really, really elegant. Also, Aru2s, which I used to have these. I'm shocked that there's so much money, honestly, but they are a cool fish. The way they dance and their fins, they're not even fully up in this picture. They'll spin around one another, that's the males generally, but sometimes the females too. And they'll spin around each other and just put on this display. It's insanity. And then there's this Molly pair, and these are copper, which is kind of like a brass or bronze color, but really unique. It's got blue. If this were green, it would be perfect. So it would look like patina on like oxidized copper. Look at that picture. Whoever snapped that, good timing to see the movement of the fish. But again, this is stuff that I've never seen anywhere else. Here's another lamp eye or top fish from Africa. I mean, top of the water. This one has blue on the outsides and then green on the inside. So if you match these with the other ones, like talk about a dream tank, you'd have a unique fish that you're seeing the best of both. Now for cichlids, what I was looking at getting are South American. I was looking at getting the Altocino if they're still around. Are they still even here? Oh, they might be gone. I'm so sad if they are. Oh, I think they are. Dang, someone else bought them. But then they've got the little Latiacara fluvipennis. Looks like, oh wow, they're down to 1. Redhead Tapajos. These I also was considering keeping. And then I love the name Sotanoperca. Satanoperca. Satanica. Sanitarium. Also, the threadfin albino acara, they are a really, really pretty fish when they grow up. Real unique looking with the earth eater kind of mouth and body style, or South American cichlid, I should say. They're not an earth eater, but they've got that mouth that's kind of turned down like this to sift through substrate. Pretty cool. Also, if we go over to, where was it? They had Apistos, another South American favorite, which if you like cichlids, they had some nice ones in here. These pandas are really really beautiful ones. I think they're special. And the Inca Banshee pair, that's actually a pretty good deal. But again, these are all bred in Europe, so these are all like aquarium glauser. Look at these ones, man. Some of these are just so cool looking. Now that's one I could never afford, but I've seen the Hongzhou dwarf red. Oh, ooh, ooh wee! Put it in the A. Let's see here. Barbs and Danios and stuff. They've got the mascara barb, which I absolutely love. The drape fin barb. I've got some of these in my custody at the moment, and they're beautiful. And also the tear spot barb. I think they're a really nice one. This I need to actually message Dan on this one because they're being marketed as Pethia gellius, but I think they're actually a different kind. And I'm guessing his wholesaler told him, the species and everything, but that I think it's the consorta or I'm gonna mess up the name, but Pethia. Let me take a look real quick. Let me check. Pethia. Cos. What is it? So how's everybody feeling at this point in the stream? Sorry guys, I just have to know what the species I was looking at was. I did some research on it because I wanted to spawn them, and oh, here we go. So I think these are actually these ones. Hold on, let's see if this will open. If I can share this on this screen. Anyways, go to Dan's Fish, use the code Alex, and get yourself 10% off your first order, 5% off any order after that. But yeah, here we go. Pethia caneus or caneus. These are found in the same range and everything, but look at how similar they look right here versus in some of the pictures you can see there's two kinds of fish. But bottom line is when you see them in a tank, they color. Oh, here we go. Here's the picture that I was going to share with Dan. Is yeah, right here. So you can see the stripes more pronounced. And the males versus females, if you have them in black water or really soft water with tannins and stuff, the males will be like a brighter orangey amber color, and the females will be more of a yellow. But they're both really pretty. But the Pethia gellius, see up here, has color on the fin down below and a darker black on the fin and the dots on the caudal peduncle, but is really kind of lacking them up here. And then also the lateral line goes higher over the eye, whereas down here the lateral line's kind of level with the eye and runs down the body. But that's neither here nor there. It's a cool fish any way you slice it. All right, guys, let me pop back over to me. What's going on? Did I miss anything? Yeah, drape fins are super underrated. I'm just trying to see the chat, my lovely friends. I'm wanting to make a video though of father fish on here because I get a lot of questions from new folks asking, okay, what is his method, or how do I do his method, or I did his method, and they'll say, so I put 8 inches of sand in a tank. He said more is better. And they don't have any soil. They don't have a filter. And they've conflated like the Wallstead tank, a filterless tank, a no water change system. Like they're all different things. The father fish method of substrate is different from his method of keeping low amounts of water changes. And on my live stream, even though there were lots of interruptions and lots of tech things, we got him explaining and clarifying, like, well, no, yeah, you do need to actually feed your fish, but you can do it in very low amounts. But his editors basically take that and make these kind of sensational shorts or clips on them, and that's something that I've kind of had a bone to pick with for a little while. That that we kind of cleared up a lot of the issues. Like, is sand a good source, a good substrate? Not really. It's pretty dense, and yeah, it makes a good cap to cover your good substrate, but it's really like a matrix and a placeholder. So what I would like to take cuts of that live stream, or maybe someone else wants to do it, and don't want to come off as like confrontational to Lou, to Fatherfish, in that it is a little bit like gotcha-y if I were to edit it and be like, this is the truth about father fish method. But that's really what it is. It's like, yeah, he's admitting, okay, you might, if you medicate your fish, you need to do a water change. Yeah, it's true with ick that you don't want to use medication. You can just turn the heat up, etc. But you want to do that, you want to do that only in certain cases. If they have a bacterial infection, you're gonna probably want to use a antibiotic, and then you're going to want to get that antibiotic out of the water, and the way to do that is water changes. And that's where he was like, yeah, I agree, that's when I would do a water change. Yet there's videos saying never do one again, that kind of thing. Now, that being said, I've kept tanks where I just did water top offs and didn't even add food in the case of a 3-fish tank for, what was it? Over a year, I guess 14 months. So you can do it. Yeah. Yeah. Nirvana Aquatics. I would say that if he didn't just get 80,000 subscribers overnight, essentially, in like a 2-week, whatever, not 2-week, 4-month period, I think he got 80,000 of his subscribers. The thing is, though, y'all are quality subscribers. Y'all that are here hanging out in the chat here every week. I'd rather have a core group of loyal, interested, engaged people than like a viral video that pulls people in, they subscribe, and then they never come back. So now if we could get that all going, where there's 100,000 people who are engaged, that's what I would love to see on this channel. Then I would have enough money to cover my medical bills and to do some interesting, travels, interesting builds. I'd have the money. My wife doesn't mind if I build and it looks really nice. She just doesn't want me coming in with cinder blocks and 2x4s, adding another rack, right? So, yes. So, what else is new in the world? Folks, do we have any questions? I'm also going to do a lasagna style video on how I create my ideal tank, my method. I don't have a method, but I do have a favorite way to do planted community tanks. And I don't know, like, already now I've become so ingrained in YouTube for a job, for a living, whatever you want to call it, that now I think of, what's the name of that video gonna be, though? What's the thumbnail gonna be? How do I explain that in a way that sounds interesting and not arrogant or whatever? So how do I explain the lasagna method or the fishery method or whatever you want to call it? So yeah, how many gallons would you recommend? 19 black skirt tetras and 10 Julia Cories. A 20 long could probably handle that, no problem. But black skirt tetra is about an inch. You know, the inch per gallon rule is kind of made for kind of that situation. But if you have a ton of plants and good filtration, or if you had a canister filter and not even hardly any plants, then you could run a 20, you could almost double that in a 20 long. I wouldn't because of how many fish it would be, but I would say a 20 long or a 29 or 40 if you maybe went out and got more fish. Yeah, let's see here. Um, Lasagna. Yeah, man, that does sound good. Let's see here. I see John Monroe. What's up? Asia Llewellyn. What's going on? Good to see you. You're gonna get a hillbilly grin for that. Luis Carlos Herrera Marroquin. Hello. Uh, all right. Etedia, Eteda, Eteda. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. I think my cherry shrimp shed. He was very dark red, then almost transparent, and he has turned dark red again, all in about 48 hours. I only have two males and one female. Yeah, that's probably what happened. I mean, you'll see them get almost like a clear coat right before they shed because their exoskeleton's starting to shift off. And then when it does shed, usually it comes off, and then their color's really bright, and they almost look like they have like been covered in polyurethane or like lacquer or some sort of shiny finish. Gary Stein, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Lady Phillips, hello, and Wi-Fi, hello. Um, Peter Griffin, what's going on? Do you have plant roots on top of your tanks, Alex? I think we have Monstera or Pothos in every one of our. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Definitely with like Pothos, spider plant, purple waffle plant. I've done it with quite a few different things. A lot of times, it's more um, immersed growth that's actually still in the tank because I like it to utilize the waste from the fish that's building up in the substrate. That's otherwise it's just a water column feeding, which is still good. I mean, it still sucks out the nitrates, which is key. But I like it to suck out the nitrates from the water column and the substrate like a planted plant does. But no, it definitely helps. It definitely will save you. That and the fact that if you have algae in a tank, and I'm not saying if you have an outbreak and a big bloom of the algae, but it's just the fact that if there's one cell of it, just a few little spots with some algae, that will protect you against a lot of the things that can happen when your nitrogen cycle is fidgety or has issues. Um, I'm testing English Ivy at the moment. We'll have to see if it makes it. Yeah, that one, I feel like there might be some sort of chemical or like molecule that it produces, like a toxin that that either harms other plants or maybe fish. Although the roots probably don't, like the root tissue and the bottom part of the stem or vine. But you might want to check with that. You might want to check before you do that. When are you going to do another live stream with Lucas? You guys are amazing together. Oh, well, thanks. Um, I don't know when. I'll have to chat with him and see what his schedule's like. I'm open to something like that. Also, Chris Lukoff is still supposed to come on. He still wanted to come on, and hopefully we'll talk about like Sulawesi and traveling and the magic of where he's gone and his career as a naturalist slash also a heavy metal rock star. Pretty wild. Let's see here. Yeah, English ivy can be toxic, someone said they heard. It can be to humans, I know for sure. That's why I'm wondering about to fish. I don't quite know. Perhaps run charcoal in a filter to be on the safe side. Yeah, that might help a little bit. I don't know that would prevent everything, but it would help a little bit, for sure. Do you think clown plecos or leucomala? I don't actually know that, Corey, off the top of my head. But I'm assuming they're in the normal Corey realm of things. And I don't think they would normally eat baby shrimp. They might eat a few, but they're not going to massacre all your fish or all your shrimp babies. Like actually some of the worst culprits are the small fish that are like an inch and a half, like a cherry barb, for instance, can go through a lot of baby shrimp because they're small enough that they're hungry enough to eat them and they're just the bite size, whereas something bigger like, I don't know, an Acara will gladly eat shrimp and will probably eat your adult shrimp, a fish that big, but it's probably not going to eat the little tiny babies. Probably not worth it to them. Not sure about Swedish ivy either. I have 5-foot tanks. I have something to share with you guys. She's up. She's up and awake, guys. My little kitty cat. My little kitty cat. Yeah, say hi. This is Silky, if you guys haven't met her before. It's raining. It rained like 3 inches in the last 24 hours. And so she is, she's been inside all day. I've tried to get her to go outside because I thought maybe she has to go potty. But she hasn't done anything other than sleep all day. And this morning she was soaked to the bone. I mean, like, she looked hilarious, I must say. She looked like a little rat. She was she's a fluffy kitty. And she only weighs 3.5 pounds. And you could tell she only weighs 3.5 pounds. And she screws up the color key on this camera. Like, she's so dark that it color keys off. Hey, Silky, get here, hop down. Anyways, yeah, she didn't want to go outside, but I'm guessing she's probably going to need to go outside soon because she's been in here since 11 o'clock or something. And she's just been a good little kitty, but it's like 55 degrees out. It's warmed up a ton. And she's just wandered in the house every time the doors open in the last bit. But of course, she went and laid on my wife's spot on the couch and her pillow. Is that where she was? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I stop her when I see that going on, but she knows that that's what she wants to do, is be in the spot that she's not allowed to be in because she's a cat. Let's see here. I do not think there are plants that are toxic unless you smash their juice out. There definitely are some plants that are toxic. There's some that can cause like blood thinning or or vasoconstriction, vasodilation. For instance, poison oak or poison sumac wouldn't be a good one. Cedar is another one that's not poison to us, not poison in the sense we think of it generally, but it can cause damage to the fish because of the aromatics in it. It'll destroy their slime coat if you put a bunch of fresh cedar in there. But that being said, I guess you may be technically correct in that it may be the sap or the juice or whatever you get from smashing it that's steeping out of it like tea. Let's see here. Rhododendron is another one that is poisonous. Let's say you need to do a water change and feed your fish on the same day. Is it better to feed before or after water change? Definitely, I'd feed them before the water change, so that way I'm cleaning up anything they missed. I'd wait probably 2 hours or 3 hours. That being said, I just do water top offs for the most part. I only do water changes on my tanks that I'm trying to breed, like Corys or something like that in them. Oh, and by the way, that was a super chat. So thank you so very much. Pibblepunk the ape apistivist, activist, ape active, whatever. I like the name, and hello. Jesse Lee, yes, blue eyes are rad. I'm probably gonna bow out here soon because I don't know for sure what time Bentley goes on. Let me just check real quick, make sure he's not live. Don't want to trample over the stream where he's bringing his wife on. I think it's at 6 o'clock though. If I had to guess, let me find out. Yes, maybe. Yeah, it's at 6. Okay. So if you guys are just, hungry for more content, you just nom 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 nom, I need that content, you can hop over to his after mine, and he's somebody that I would say that he could vouch for me about anything plant related, that's for sure, or just about anything. Let's see here. Ossia says, I don't feed every day, mostly just do top ups of water changes when necessary. Yeah, I don't feed every day either. A lot of fish actually, there's a new research paper out that it was going to be, I was thinking of doing an episode of Fishery on some new journal articles that have been published. But what it was about was how fish that are older, when they go, I think it was like 8 to 12 hours without any sort of food, that it actually prolongs their life. It helps their longevity. And that might be why fish in captivity live so much longer, beyond the fact that they're just not getting eaten, they're not getting beat up, they're not getting as many diseases and things as wild fish. But they were surprised by some of the other things that they were able to deduce from this research. So it might be something I'll cover in an upcoming video. Also, like I said, I want to do the highlight type thing of Father Fish and I's chat. I want to do my own how to make a lasagna tank when I do the geo setup, hopefully. Is manzanita safe for the tank with the bark still on? Yes, manzanita is. I still think it's better when it's been sun bleached and dried thoroughly. When it's still green, it's okay. But I wouldn't put like a big chunk of freshly cut at the base green manzanita. I just wouldn't do that. But if it's been dried for sure, or in the sun, or the lower part of the plant died and the branch is all dry, then definitely you can use it. And manzanita has an incredible biofilm layer that it develops. The there and there's also the beautiful um, uh, carotenoid and lycopene and all those kind of chemicals are in the manzanita bark that give it that red color, and those actually can transfer via being processed by the bacteria and fungi that break down at a molecular level. They break down all those metabolites that get used by other creatures, and same with like anthocyanins and azathiosin. I can never say it. It looks like athazanthin, acetaskin. I always mess it up. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna get it right. Ask it and it's yeah, it's astaxanthin, 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 astaxanthin. I don't know why that's so hard for me, but yeah. Spinster sister, what's going on? Waffles, yup. What's going on? Uh, I'm a water flea keeper since 2009. Oh, is somebody on here named Water Flea Keeper, or is somebody talking in? Oh, Peter Griffin, that's cool. You got a pacu that doesn't eat much during the winter and 70 plus koi. Wow. You must have a big old pond or an even bigger tank. That's crazy. That is awesome. Um, yeah. Carly, hello. Welcome. Uh, Also, Kaylee Caulfield, hello, smash that like button. Thanks for reminding folks. Um, do you think that blood parrots and polar blue parrots can breed? I heard that polar blues are just convicts. Yeah, I think they can. They aren't just convicts; they're convict cichlids crossed with parrots, with the blue being selected for and then back crossed. But at a certain point, some of them do become sterile, and it depends on the lines. Yeah, Mick, you've got me. I need the phonetics. Thank you. Will you have another chat with Father Fish soon? I think we're probably going to do on his channel. We'll probably have me on there sooner rather than later, and talk more about like answering questions for folks. I think that's kind of the hope. But I'm not 100%. I mean, drop him a line on his videos. But yeah, I on the stream when he came on here, I wanted to say that I appreciate the attention he's bringing to the nature aquariums and to some of the things I do too. I'm just a little more cautious, and I like to dive into the science of like, well, why are we putting this jar of something in our tank, and like, what are the possible bad things? Now, the possible bad things may be a low percentage, but that's when I think of things like, well, what if we quarantine it for several weeks, put a lid on it so we take care of the larva of dragonflies or anything harmful with like big old mandibles and pinchers. Also, any mosquitoes then hatch out and you've got a mesh to stop them. So those are important, but more than all of that, it's what if the life in there is not warm water cooperative. So if it's not, then you put it in your tank. If it was cold water, then all of a sudden you've got this big old die off and you've got an organic solid spike, and that is no good to have extra organics just like decomposing that weren't metabolized, that weren't processed in the gut of another creature and broken down and so forth. Peter Griffin says, when you say lasagna method, are you going to combine father fish and oxic filtration, plenums, fishery together? Yeah, it's kind of like that. So it is Amazon, the Amazon Center for Ornamental Fishes. What's going on, Dr. Anthony? They are doing a fundraiser actually this whole month, and you guys will hear about, well, actually it was last month, I think, but I don't care. I still want to encourage folks to give to it. The Center for Ornamental Fish and Research in the Amazon, Arkoff, and Doc has had some medical procedures, and then he was traveling, and busy dude. So yeah. Did you miss the definition of lasagna? Sure, you missed it. Like, you didn't catch it because I didn't throw it at you, unfortunately. But essentially, it's the idea of replicating a somewhat natural substrate in the sense that it mocks a lake or creek bed in depositional layers, similar to the last 2 to 5 years of deposition in a lake bed. So each year in the winter, you've got mulm and algae and all sorts of little critters that die and fall to the bottom, and all their skeletons and bodies and waste and food byproducts and plant debris and stuff falls down, and it gets munched on by all these critters and worms and things, and little crustacean and so forth. And then in the spring, different life comes, and then that dies, and then that puts another layer over it. So the idea is to have this rich layer with nitrates and oxygen rich flow right under some sand, and then to have some rocks or something bigger, denser stuff where there's voids that mulm can fall into. And then below that, you can do another sand cap and then some soil, or you can just do soil. And then that is going to be several inches down your anoxic or anaerobic layer. Anaerobic being like low oxygen, no free oxygen in the gas form, whereas the anoxic is a little less harsh than the total anaerobic, which is no oxygen available even for the little single cell organisms trying to break it off of other molecules and stuff. There's just no free floating around, non-bonded or easily broken. Oh, okay, cool. So let's see here. Let me see if I can. Well, let me. So here is Dr. Anthony's. Why won't it? Hold on. Oh, it won't let me. Okay. But so there is a fundraiser to have a Christmas in the village for the kids that are around the center, that are the community at large. They do a little party for the kids so that at least they get something for Christmas. So yeah. Nirvana Aquatics, you've been doing a modified version of the lasagna for a while. Yeah. It's not like in books or anything. It's kind of just a mixture of hoping, knowing that that aerobic normal filtration works. I usually put a filter on it, like a hang off the back or a canister or at least a sponge. And then if I don't need it, and depending on the kind of fish, say if it's gouramis that can breathe air or corridors that can breathe air, blackwater kind of fish or something, then a lot of times I will allow the filter to get clogged, to just clog itself. And by that point, there's enough mulm and enough buildup that the substrate is starting to get a nice band of nutrients there. And then I also start by putting in sulfur, just in trace amounts, doesn't need to be a ton. Potash, which has potassium and carbon and other things, magnesium and manganese, zinc, things like that. And then I also have Aquachar, which is biochar essentially, or charcoal, which has heavy surface area, absorbs toxins. But more than anything, it's just more surface area. So it's like having a filter, and beneficial bacteria will not just grow in your filter media. It grows all over your tank, just not as densely as in a filter. Now, a filter also is churning oxygen and aeration constantly, so that bacteria is much more significant in its impact. However, if you spread it all out, you can still work with just the surface area of your tank, especially if it's really planted, you got rocks, you got wood, you name it, then it really can be done easily. And in fact, you can jumpstart your aquarium cycle just using, for instance, things like a lotus pod that's been in a well-cycled tank that's nice and slimy and got a little bit of algae on it or whatnot. But the lasagna method is essentially a layered method. And if you've got Malaysian trumpet snails, which often I do, or blackworms or curly loaches or any fish that dig in the sand or dirt, then it's going to get, instead of lasagna, it's going to become a scramble. Instead of an omelet, it turns into a bit of a scramble. And that's okay. Because if you're using aqua soil, I have a whole episode where we talk about it. Tom Barr did some good research on this. And I actually included his work in what is the video, what is the best substrate? I think, yeah, what is the best substrate for the planted aquarium? And in that, I argue that it is the aqua soil from a good quality aqua soil producer, Fluval stratum. That's not going to be an active substrate. So then you can get substrates with ammonia and nitrates, nitrites embedded in them. But the thing is, if it doesn't have a sand cap, you're going to need to let it cycle longer if it's an active substrate. And if it is an active substrate, you also don't want to bust through that sand cap, because then you've got like a ticking time, waiting to blow. And just like Father Fish always says, that gravel is similar to an open sewer, the way the mulm falls down into it and then settles. And then you can disrupt it really easily, and then the ammonia and things can spike in the tank. Well, the same idea is true of anything that doesn't have denser material above it. Yeah. Now, also, I don't have sand as the top layer as a cap on all tanks, because you can let it cycle. You can allow the ammonia and the nitrites and nitrates to off gas, and then they're no longer an issue once the outer layers have dissolved into the water, so to speak. And then also, things like scuds, things like seed shrimp and ostracods, all that kind of stuff, microcrustaceans. That's really great for the substrate in breaking down the stuff that's just already like little curlicues that, hold on, I thought this was muted. Like the curlicues that a pleco leaves, for instance, that is something that shrimp or snails can break down. But then shrimp and snails break it down, and then they leave more little curlicues or little lines or little dotted segments of the dirty stuff. Especially you see it on white sand. And then your scuds, your Daphnia, well, not Daphnia literally, but things like that, break that down another time. So they're like tertiary consumers. They're like decomposers, posers. But I like to think that if I get the proper depth in the substrate, I've got all the known aerobic bacteria, the normal nitrogen cycle that we all learn. That's going on for sure. If it's going on in a filter, then I've got a backup. So it could just be in the filter, and I don't even need to stress the aqua soil or the substrate for anything other than the plant's needs. And that's why I think that method's so common. That's why everyone gets taught that method, or Aquarium Co-op, KG Tropicals, people like that push that method, is because you got redundancy and it's harder for you to kill your fish accidentally. But once you get that down and you kind of have a system and a feel for it, then a lot of times, people want, like myself included, to experiment and to just see how far you can take it, or to see what variables you can move or remove from systems. And it's really, to me, pretty rewarding, but you also learn. So then I make sure that I've got the somewhere deep in the substrate. You're going to find out, depending on the density of the materials you use, where that line of oxygen enriched water ends. And it's going to be wherever your rust line is in your substrate. After several months to a year, you get this orangey, red, brown rust line oftentimes. And that, I was told by the head of chemical and biological engineering, molecular biology and chemistry, that essentially he's one of their research and development leads, and essentially that is where the oxygenation of the layer is ending, is right where you see the bottom of that. There's still more iron below that. It's just that's where it's visible because it's oxidized. And then below that, that means you have an anoxic or anaerobic system, probably anaerobic first, then anoxic if you go even deeper, if you have a really deep substrate. And from there, if you've got things like sulfur and potassium and a little bit of iron, then the bacteria in that lowest layer can also be taking nitrates, turning it back into ammonia, and then feeding the ammonia directly to the plants. But I want that nice and deep in the tank, and that's why I do it the way I do it. And I like pool filter sand personally. It's a little pricey sometimes, but it's nowhere near as pricey as fish store sand. It's just more pricey than landscaping sand or play sand or sandbagging sand, quickcrete type stuff. But I think it's worth it. And sand is very limited on what you can grow in it to whatever, however well balanced your ecosystem is in food web and everything, and decomposition, bacteria and archaea and everything like that. It all has to be working and balanced and chugging along well before it's even worth worrying about. Where can, let's see here. Oh yeah, okay. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. Well, that's fine. Well, guys, I think I'm going to get out of here so that Bentley can stream if any of y'all wanted to catch that. Yeah, lava rock is one of the rocks I like to use, or pumice, both because it has iron and because, well, not all of it, but a lot of it does. The red stuff oftentimes does. But if you guys want to go over there, that's fine. But the lava rock is also nice because it can be a surface for filter media. What should I take care of my guppies fry? How should I take care of my guppy fry? Pretty easy. Just crumble up the flake food and throw it in. If the parents are all eating on one side and kind of pushing the little ones out of the way, then just take some, sprinkle the big flakes on one side, sprinkle some others over on the other side, get some floating plants and feed in between them, and it should work out just fine. They're a great starter fish to be breeding, so that you'll learn a lot and you should have fun. I mean, I don't care if it's live bears. They're fun to watch fish have babies and do their little mating dances and all that stuff. Well, guys, yeah, I'm gonna get going. But if you hop over to Bentley's, tell them I say hi, and hopefully I will have a new episode coming out sooner rather than later in the next day or two. And yeah, I'm also waiting on the sand substrate for setting up the new 40 breeder, and then hopefully the 65 too eventually. Luke, what's up? You always show up right when I have to quit. I'm sorry about that, buddy. It seems like I just leave because Luke showed up, but it's not the case, I promise. All right, Aquaballs, what's up? AK Homegrown Roots. Good night, everyone. Yes, good night to you. Love learning. Merry Christmas to all. Man, it's too early for Christmas, but sure, I'll take it there. Merry Christmas to y'all. Did you just say? Did somebody say sing a carol? Oh, you don't want me to do that. Green jade, shrimp, and tetras, ruby are the best to look real festive. I like fish all through the year, but the holiday brings extra cheer. Red and blue fish are hard to find, so are ruby tetras all the time. They like to hide and they swim real jerky. I like watching guppies twerk. Gee, they are mating all the time, but it's fun to watch in my home tank and community tank. I'm gonna sit and just think. Okay, I'm done. All right, guys, it's time to end it. That's the line. We got to end it. I hope everybody has a wonderful night, though. Replay crew, thank you, especially if you made it this far, sat through all of this. Yeah, we're gonna clear out here. I'll be back Friday, if not maybe sooner, or in a video, or to haunt you as a ghost. However it works out. But thank you guys for being you, being so awesome. Means so much to me. Much love, and have a wonderful week. Bye.